Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch Team is here with an update on Tropical Storm Arlene, which is in the eastern Gulf of Mexico here, as you can see. It is making its way down to the south. It was recently designated as a tropical storm by the National Hurricane Center. Aircraft reconnaissance investigated the storm and found winds of around 40 miles an hour. Air pressure is now down to about 40 miles per hour, or 1,002 millibars. So this storm has continued to intensify. I think 40 to 45 miles an hour is really where we're going to see this thing peak. This is going to continue to make its way south. We do have deep thunderstorm convection close to the center of circulation. We do have some thunderstorms making their way here into southwest Florida there, near Naples, Florida. A few storms there, just really right off the coast. Saratoga, St. Petersburg, Florida there. We do have some storms moving in that area. It is a special marine warning. Basically, it's just letting him know that strong storms were located from Saratoga Bay to Egmont Key, moving northwest at around 10 knots, 15 miles an hour. Winds of around 40 miles per hour are possible. Expect wind gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour. Higher waves, frequent lightning, and heavy downpours. Make sure all on board are wearing life jackets. So there are having some choppy waves out there, gusty winds, and heavy downpours of these thunderstorms moving into that area. This storm is going to continue to make its way south. We're going to be looking at other websites today and monitoring and watching where the system goes. As it continues to move south, we do think that it's going to begin to move into a more unfavorable area. As you can see farther down here, you can clearly see the wind shear over Cuba moving from west to east, so there's a much stronger amount of shear there in west Cuba. So I do think that the storm is going to begin to weaken as it makes its way in that area and fall apart. By that time, I do think it's going to dissipate. Winds may be only 25 to 30 miles an hour. Biggest threat for Cuba will definitely be the heavy rain, as the remnants of Arlene do make its way into that portion of the Caribbean. So the biggest threats, again, with this storm in Cuba and portions of Cuba and even Key West, depending on how much of it is sheared away from the center and where the worst of the stormy weather is. West Florida, the Keys, and portions of Cuba and western Cuba will have heavy downpours. Flooding is going to be very, very likely with this storm as this continues to move south, southeast towards the western portion of Cuba. So that is what we are looking at with this storm. Again, winds right now are 40 miles an hour. Gusts are upwards of 50 miles an hour. Currently moving off to the south. And at minimum central air pressure is 1,002 millibars. Alright, so I am actually going to look at tropical tidbits, take a look and see what we are looking at here, and also look at the Force 13's website. Okay, news, active cyclones. So this is the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. As you can see here, it is going to weaken into a depression. Again, winds are sustained at 40 miles an hour. This is advisory number 5 as of 1 p.m., moving south at around 5 miles an hour. And the reason this storm is moving south is because higher up here over southeastern United States, we have high pressure suppressing this to the south, causing this to move south. And as it gets away from that high pressure, it's going to actually, the remnants of it are actually going to move away Cuba and kind of move out to sea like that. So it's going to kind of go around Cuba and off to the east coast of the United States. No threat to the United States is expected from the storm. Any impacts will probably be the Keys and portions of southern Florida there, as the winds shear the storm away from the center, and possibly some heavy rain over portions of South Florida. Taking a look at the sea surface temperatures, it is moving into much warmer sea surface temperatures. However, as it moves south, it is going to encounter more shear. So we will try to see convection, but as it continues to move south, there'll be more rain and more wind moving and blowing the deepest amount of convection away from the center of circulation. Again, if anyone has any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to go in the chat and comment and ask any questions. So as you can see, you can kind of see where the center circulation sort of is. We do see some spin, and the outer bands are moving and pushing some heavier thunderstorms into portions of West Florida there, the western part of Florida right there. So we are starting to see some more heavy rain and thunderstorms for sure with this storm and the outer bands. And then again, this is the satellite imagery of the storm. If we take a look at animated GIF. So there it is. You can see the convection right there. We see it sheared away. So that's really what we're looking at with the storm. Very, very, very simple. Not very complicated at all in any sense like that. But that's what we have with this storm right now. I'm actually going to try to look at our chat right quick and see if we have any comments, questions, or concerns. So I will be right back. Hang tight here. I'll be right back. Hello everyone. There's really not a whole lot to talk about with the storm because it is moving away. However, in terms of what I think is going to happen with the rest of the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season, this is a start to see what we got going on for the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season. Just started yesterday. It is the 2nd of June 2023, and we already have a disturbance here in the Gulf of Mexico. But we do have an El Nino developing and that is something that I'm concerned, and not only just concerned about, but quite curious about what we're going to see also with the development of the El Nino. I do want to actually take a look here and zoom this in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There you go. You can see the El Nino developing right through here, right in that area. We do have cooler sea surface temperatures across the northern Pacific and warmer sea surface temperatures in the northern Atlantic. This is quite opposite of what we usually see. Usually we see something like this during La Nina, but we have El Nino. This should be above average, this should be below average, but it's flipped. We haven't seen anything like that before, so I am curious about how this pattern that we're seeing here is going to affect the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season, which is why there are so many, some people saying, oh, it's going to be a terrible season. We're going to have, we may have 5, 6, 7 major hurricanes. Who knows? We may have over 20 named storms. I think we're going to have around an average hurricane season, maybe 2 to 3 major hurricanes. A few really storms, a few named storms for sure. This is already one of them, Tropical Storm Arlene here in the Gulf of Mexico. So again, aircraft reconnaissance seeing about 1,001 millibars, about 35 to 40 knots here. As you can see, they did go in there and get air pressure readings as low as about 1,001 millibars, and seeing those winds around 35 to 40 knots. And so, with what we have seen there, I have reason to believe that we have a pretty steady storm. So, if this develops anymore and gets stronger, we may see it up to 45 miles an hour. But regardless of how strong this gets, minimal to almost no impacts will be affected in the United States. Let's see if I have. So again, there is this high-resolution satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Arlene right there. Gotta check questions one more time. What I just did. Here, see anything else I need to talk about? But that's really it. Anyone else, any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know. Email us at hurricanewatchteam@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you can join our Discord link, link in the description below. Also, you can join our Discord and our Patreon page, where we will continue to be posting updates on Tropical Storm Arlene and tropical updates on the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season, and where we, the Hurricane Watch Team, will be posting our official 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season predictions there over on Patreon. We're posting it there before we post it anywhere else. Feel free to ask us any questions, but that's me of today, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. We will continue to update through YouTube. We'll be posting stuff in the community tab, so go over there and we'll continue to talk about what some of the observations that we're seeing with this storm here in the the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Hurricane Watch Team, your source for cyclone information. As always, take care. Peace out.